welcome to SpudWoodworks.com resource tip on how to finish blocks with organic coconut oil and organic beeswax mix that uses beeswax and extra virgin olive oil. I'll show you how to make it and how to apply it. For this tutorial, you're going to need organic raw coconut oil. I prefer raw and I prefer organic because it's natural, it's better for you, better for the planet. You're also going to need organic extra virgin olive oil. You will need a pot, a measuring cup, preferably the one that has ounces, a wide mouth jar of some sort. I like mason jars or anything like that. It has a wide mouth, easier to get your hand in. A little spatula for mixing around and grabbing some of the stuff at the bottom. As you can see, I like to use the same glass over and over again. This is great for you to just add more wax, add more olive oil, and make the mix and just keep going with the same glass. You're also going to need a cheese grater to grate up your beeswax. Now, I've ruined this one, as you can see, for my wife. So she has decided that I have to use this one forever and always, forevermore. And that's fine with me, but I really don't like cleaning it. You're going to need 1 ounce of beeswax. This is more than an ounce, but you know, the more the merrier. You can always use it. There's lots of applications for it. You're going to need a brush for the coconut oil method. Preferably like this. These foam brushes work great because you're going to want to basically warm it up and bring it down to a liquid form, and it's easier to apply it with a brush. Now you're going to need something to finish with your finishes. So what I have here is some 2-inch blocks from Spud Woodworks. These have sanded sides and straight corners, as you can see, a little bit sharper. And I also have with me some 1.5-inch blocks, also from Spud Woodworks, but these have the sanded edges. I prefer these for child toys and anything that a kid's going to play with so that the edges are rounded off. Alright, so now that we have everything we need, let's get started. Now the first step to creating the beeswax olive oil mix is to take your beeswax and you're going to want to shave off about 1 ounce of it. So take our cheese grater, carefully go ahead and just start grinding away. And if you get a little extra, that's fine too. As you can see, just keep going until you get that ounce. Comes out of the bottom. A little bit of labor, but it's worth it. And there we have 1 ounce. You're going to put it into your measuring cup. As much of it you can pick up. As you can see, just perfect, measured to about 1 ounce. Okay. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fill up your pot about halfway with regular old tap water. Nothing special here. That should be good. And you're going to want to put that on your stove top on high so that you can get that water warm, as that's the only way you're going to be able to make this mix. Alright, so in your empty wide mouth glass, you're going to take out the spatula. You don't want to put that on the stove top. You're going to go ahead and dump in your new beeswax and get all of it out of the cup. And you want to pour out 4 ounces of the organic extra virgin olive oil. As you can see, this is a 1 to 4 recipe. And it's very simple, very easy to make. Just go ahead and pour it out. So you have 4 ounces, and you're really just going to want to throw it right in there with the rest of it. And that's all the prep work you need. What you're going to do is you're going to place that into your pot of water. You're going to want to do that also before it gets really hot, because if you throw cold things into hot water, you never know, you might shatter the glass. You gotta be careful. Now for your second coconut oil method, you're just going to want to take off the top and go ahead and stick that right into the pot until it becomes a liquid form all the way through. Now that's important because that's the only way you're really going to be able to spread it on the block, because really when it gets hard like this, it's difficult to spread around, and it's really just a waste of time when you could really do it a lot faster if you do it in a liquid form. Now, as you can tell, when the water starts to boil, the beeswax will melt into the olive oil, creating the mix that we want. And now at last, as the beeswax has completely melted into the olive oil, you're going to want to get a pot holder and transfer the glass jar to a spot where it can cool. Now, as you can tell, the beeswax and olive oil mix, it looks mostly like olive oil, but as it cools, you're going to start noticing that the wax is going to show up and make this much thicker and more pliable with your fingers, which is great for the finish that we want to get. Now, with the same process, you'll notice the coconut oil is beginning to melt down into a liquid form, which is awesome. What's even greater is in the summertime, your coconut oil might already be in liquid form, so you can skip this step altogether. Now, as you can see, the coconut oil has just about completely melted and become a liquid form. And once it does so, you can take your pot holder again and transfer that to a place where it can cool slightly, and you can start applying it to the blocks with your brush. Now that you've given the organic raw coconut oil the chance to cool a little bit, you can go ahead and apply it to the blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our foam brush on the blocks, and I'm just going to dip it in there. You don't need a little bit to start out. I'm just going to lightly make some passes across the grain and allow the wood to actually soak it right up, which is great. The more the better. And you're going to do so again with the other side of the block. And you can do so with the sides as well, all the way around. And there you have it, a finished block. As you can see with comparison, that's the big difference between the two. Now you're going to notice as the beeswax begins to solidify, it may begin to form a disc at the top. Now the disc can get quite thick, so what you want to do is take your spatula, whatever you have, and just lightly break it up. Make sure that doesn't become a hard disc, which could really interfere with you getting to the rest of the mix. Just like that. Should do the trick. You might only have to do it once too, so one and done. So once you've allowed for enough time to have the wax cool, and it's really important to have the wax cool, because if you're going to just go right in and use the beeswax and olive oil right away, you could end up burning yourself pretty severely, and I highly recommend allowing it to cool before you do anything with it. So you're going to take your spatula, go ahead and just stick it in there, grab one of your blocks. Again, we're using the 1.5 inch blocks with sanded edges for this. You're just going to go ahead and put some on both ends. And the easiest and best way to do this is just go ahead and take your thumb and make sure it covers the whole thing, and then use your palm across the top to get a lot of the excess off. Do the same on the other side. And then what you can do is with that excess wax in your hand, just go ahead and cover all the sides so you get a nice coat of the beeswax olive oil finish. Now this stuff is actually great for your hands if you're, if you have dry hands. This stuff is excellent as a moisturizer sort of product. But there you have it, one finished block, and we'll have a comparison with one that's unfinished. Now we have here our two completed blocks. I've allowed them to dry for a while. Now sometimes you can end up with some excess wax or coconut oil on them. So what I do is I take like an old rag, here I have an old t-shirt, and I just give them a quick buff on all sides and gets rid of a lot of the excess and makes them perfect and ready to go. There you have it. Now today I showed you a method of creating these finishes using the stovetop. Technically you could use a microwave or something like that to melt down the oils. I just prefer to use the stovetop myself. As always, be careful when you're handling hot oils as you could get burned, and to always allow them to cool before you use them. I really hope you enjoyed this resource tip from SpudWoodworks.com. Go ahead and like us on Facebook, check out our products on our page, and drop us an email sometime and tell us what you thought.